A huge, warm, amazing welcome to another Business in Life Network Tuesday evening. I was going to call it a webinar, but we're still on the chattinar kind of format and interaction. So let's keep with that. It will change next week because everything that's good in life does change. So let's stay with that. At the end of last week, Liz and I asked the question of, what would you do if you were brave? And I've now added an R on that, as in, what would we do if we were braver? So this week, we are going to be talking about that. Just to let you know, this week it's mainly going to be me talking for other reasons, because I need to use parts of the video for my project. So sorry. Ding, back on. Okay.
No, I'm just glad to sit and listen to you tonight, to be honest.
Yeah, we spoke earlier, and it was like, no. You need a chill, darling. That's lovely. And I'm fine. I wanted first of all to say, has your perception of the word and whatever it means to you about being brave changed because of what we've been going through and still are going through? I open it up.
No.
Is it more brave, less brave, different brave?
The same brave.
Same brave. Okay. And what does, because you've had a week to think about it. You probably haven't, because you've been doing other things. Well, we talked about that. We've all had an amazingly busy week. But what does being brave mean to you? What you know, if you said that's brave, how would you give me an example of that?
Taking on a challenging project that maybe you've had in mind for a long time, and now finally you getting around doing it and taking that step.
Okay, so we've got a challenge, taking on a challenging project. Cindy,
confronting the part of you that you don't want to.
Yeah. Very good. I like that.
Interesting.
Cindy.
Well, I think it's brave going to the grocery store.
Exactly. No, sorry. I don't like going to the big Carrefour, not the big, even the medium-sized Carrefour. And I feel amazingly vulnerable. So for me, that surprised me. But COVID did make that difference to me. So I totally agree with you, Cindy. It's quite nerve-wracking and I don't like it. And people don't do a meter and people aren't wearing enough masks. So anyway, Liz, what's your perception of brave, darling?
My perception of brave is when there's something that really challenges you, terrifies.
Your screen's frozen. Oh, yeah, but you're moving now. Terrifies you. Terrifies you.
If you're doing something that terrifies you, and what it was for me years ago was actually getting up on stage, presenting to 70 professionals in the travel industry when I'd been in the industry for 3 weeks. And I'm prospect. You know, I was brand new, and the MD was supposed to go and do a presentation. He said, I can't be bothered.
Okay.
And I went and did it. And that, for me, was brave, because I was way...
Liz, we're losing you, darling, and there's a big difference between your mouth and the sound. Yeah, oh, silence. Can you move nearer to your box, your Wi-Fi?
I'm not actually very far from the Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay. Make sure it's plugged in. Okay, good. So we've got an idea that for all of us, it's a different thing. And we've used words like confronting, challenging, terrifying. And what's the opposite of being brave?
Having courage.
Okay. Courage. Right.
Being passive.
Passive.
I just think comfortable.
Comfortable.
Fearing.
Sorry, Liz.
Fearing.
Fearing.
Well, I think you can be afraid and be brave too.
Yeah. But I suppose, it depends on, again, all of this is very subjective, but that's what tonight's about. It's about working out what your view is, because there's no right or wrong, is there? Because if we look at on a dictionary level, the opposite of being brave is being fearful. So sort of, but that actually came up last. Instead, we've got passive, comfortable, courageous. And then I've got, why is courage different? What's different about the word courage to brave?
I don't know. That's a good one. Let's think.
But you've just said it was the opposite of
I know,
brave.
and I think I must have had a brain freeze or something, because I didn't mean that. I meant...
You've had a menopausal flush.
Oh, talk to me about it. Hang on. No, I didn't mean... If you're brave, well, I think if you're brave, you do something despite your fears,
Right.
despite what you're fearful about. You go do it anyway. You just go and do it.
Okay.
And courage and brave is something a bit more spontaneous than courage. Courage is something that I think you have or you don't. Actually, it's like something that you can be. You have not as black and white as that, but courage is more something that maybe is in you, which enables you to be brave. Put it like that.
Okay. See, what's your view? Is there a difference between being courageous and being brave?
I think in some instances they would probably be very closely linked.
Okay.
But I think I agree with Nicola. I think brave is almost more spontaneous, and courage it's an innate. If you're courageous, you've got that innate belief in yourself that you can do things. And I suppose it might be a stepping stone to being brave, because you've got the courage to do something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's well said, Z. That's what I meant.
We'll put Z down for translation mode.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
When you see people that you consider to be brave, what do you see?
People who are very secure in their own skin, sure of themselves.
Secure, self-assured.
Or have done something that maybe hasn't been done before. You know?
Trailblazers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I knew a lady who, sorry, Jane.
That's one after you.
I knew a lady who I always considered to be hugely brave. She was, she was a young woman at the time. I was at university. She was in a wheelchair with very short, she was disabled with very short arms, and just fingers could just about control the wheelchair.
Right.
Never, ever did she complain once.
No.
And I always thought she was hugely brave. She just used to say, Liz, will you come to the lift with me? I can't press the top button.
God. Wow.
And she was amazing.
I've got lots of short friends who've got the same problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, I think when I consider the word brave, I think almost of somebody who stands up against bullying or, something that's wrong, whatever that perception is, because that's quite brave. People in the resistance must have been brave. You can't do that kind of work, can you, without? I don't know. It's sort of, yeah. Anybody got anything else they'd like to add?
I think bravery is what we do in spite of ourselves.
Yeah.
When that
when there's a bigger thing at stake.
But only certain people, not everybody can do that. Some people step up to the plate and they're brave. There's a lot of people here in the UK at the moment who are being called brave because they have left their comfort zone and they've walked into, you know, fearful situations without PPE and all the rest of it to help other people. And they are brave to do that with everything that's going on. They've stepped outside of it. They wouldn't have done it before. They didn't actually think maybe possibly that they could do that. But for the same number of people who've done that, there are equal number of people who've just watched them.
Isn't that, I think that's pretty sort of normal.
No, it's normal. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the people who do not do that. Don't get me wrong.
No, neither am I.
Oh, no. There are reasons that they don't. But the people who just went, actually, I could sit here watching Netflix, or I could go and make and sow some scrubs, or I could go and deliver some fruit and veg, or whatever.
Yeah.
Are they brave? Are they community minded? Or I would say they're brave because we are not so much now. We're coming out of lockdown, but the last few weeks have been: do not leave your home, or you will die. You know, and if not you, your loved ones. So they're being brave to actually go and do that and think about other people, I think.
Okay. One thing to think about, when we look at other people from the outside, we put on them our judgment. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's our perception, isn't it? What if they're not really brave, but they just look like it?
Well, in that situation I just mentioned, it doesn't matter because they're doing something that helps and that's all that matters.
No. We get that. But the perception is, and we can do this with all sorts of, personas, times in our lives. Okay. And my question is, what could be your super cape? So if you're going to be a super person, right? Because there are times when we sort of need to be a bit braver. Last week, most people sitting here now, I appreciate it's a small club, but if you asked what would you do if you were brave, everybody had something to say. So, and okay, we're not talking about firefighting and helping the sick and the wounded, or whatever, but what could be your super cape to give you enough bravedom so you go and do stuff? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Super cape.
Super cape.
Mine's a thick skin.
Less personal.
I need a thick skin.
Okay. See, do you have a super cape?
I'm thinking about one. Just let me think a bit more.
Okay, well, look, I can move on because it's sort of, this is a progressive build-up. So,
I'd like to hear other people's capes and then I'll...
Well, you could be brave and go second.
Maybe I don't have the courage to be brave.
Maybe you need to get your super cape on.
I think for me, bravery is that I don't know it's bravery. People have said, okay, so I sold my house, quit my jobs, got a divorce, moved to Italy, didn't know the language.
Yeah.
Never been to Italy, didn't know anyone. And people have told me that that's brave.
Yeah.
Well, it never dawned on me that it's brave. So it's just what I did.
Yeah.
So
I moved to Dubai on my own. I moved here on my own. And if I heard once, it must have been a lot of times, oh my Lord, you're so brave. You're so courageous. For me at the time, and that's where it's relative. because yes, it was an emotional time. I never ever once classed myself to be brave.
But you see, Jane and Cindy, you both are strong characters, and you both have the courage to just change your life and do something for you. So to me, just admitting that you want to do that change is brave. Maybe not even the fact. And you've got the courage to do a brave thing like move across continents and quit your job and change your lifestyle totally.
Is it brave if you don't see it as brave?
But you see, I don't think anybody really goes into it like, I'm going to be brave now and I'll do this. I think it kind of just happens, and it's maybe not your perception of being brave, but it's other people's. And you just do an act of, well, you know, in the olden days, act of bravery was something to do with a war, right? And winning. Yeah. So maybe we could do that as winning. So this could be like a winning lifestyle, changing what we had for something.
Well, before they had armor. Okay. Yeah. So if somebody had armor on, you sort of thought, they must have thought, sorry, I haven't met many people with armor on. It's not my Saturday afternoon hobby. But they must have thought, oh, you're brave because you're going to go into battle. You're prepared to go in. So hence the bit about the super cape is, what would you need to do so you felt that bit braver so you'd actually do it? So it's shifting gear into brave mode.
I think it's mindset.
Yeah.
I think we're frightened of something we think might happen when in fact generally it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And we're more frightened not of the actual doing the thing, but of the idea of doing it sometimes.
Yeah, the perception.
You know what I mean? Perception, yeah.
And can we actually use, because again, we're all over 30, can we use our age and experience to make it easier, not harder, easier to do that?
Oh, I would like to think so, but I don't know if that's the case.
Well, Nicola, you just did. You just did. I mean, you just sent your paintings to ask for advice from different artist friends.
Sure.
When was the last time you did that?
Well, I mean, anyway, I need to move to the next stage, Cindy, and that's the bit I'm having a really hard time with.
But what can you do? What would you do now that would shift that mental space, that state?
It is a mindset. It is that. It's
So what can you do to shift it? Because it's a thought which comes from an emotion. Well, emotion, thought, belief, state, which we all create. So if we can create it, we can uncreate it. So what can you do to shift it?
No, I don't know.
What's your next step?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well, I am getting there. It's just quite slow. That's all. I am getting there. I'm nearly, and on the way, the small steps are giving me more confidence to be the brave person I need to be. I need approbation. I need to know that it's okay. And I've never had that in my life from my family. So I'm working through it. And I will get there. It's just not going to be an overnight thing.
Okay. What happens if you don't think it's brave?
Well, I don't think it's brave to do what I want.
If you change how you perceive it, and it's actually on the next page, but anyway, if you change and you neutralize your response to it.
Yeah.
Don't care on the outcome. Then it doesn't matter.
This is true.
And sometimes there's more to follow, but it's that shift in the perception is literally, it's because the perception you've created.
Yeah. I'll give it a go.
Well, hey, look, it's worth a shot, isn't it? You may as well.
Oh, no, definitely. Absolutely. I mean,
What else are you going to do on a Wednesday morning?
Well, exactly. Got nothing else to lose. I'm going to give it a go.
Well, as we said last week, life in Cambridge is a little bit, on the small side. You've got plenty to do.
Yes.
What also I'd like to say is about when we challenge or get concerned about being brave, courageous, okay, it's because there are fears. And the fears can either be historic, what we've, supposedly had before in our history. So then we automatically bring them with us, don't we? Because it's comforting.
We do.
But what they actually are when you're a child and you're going to bed at night, and when your mum starts to say to you, right, we're going to turn the light off now. I don't know about you, but I thought there were monsters at the back of the wardrobe. And I'm very glad to say there weren't, by the way. But I thought there were. And because I wouldn't go and look at the back of the wardrobe because I was afraid, the monsters got bigger. If you go to the back of your wardrobe, pull out the fear, rather than trying to squash it, okay? So acknowledge it. Look at where it comes from. So really, really look at it. It's like, right, okay, what are you all about, you little tinker? And once you start unwrapping it, you might find there's very little of any real substance inside the bottom of the parcel.
Yeah.
And Liz, would you like to read that out? Have you got the right glasses on, darling?
I have, my love, yeah.
Good.
The one at the bottom, the quote.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of your fears. They're not there to scare you. They're there to let you know something is worth it. See Joy Bell C?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Don't know. I just like the quote. I thought, well, I better put down the author's name. And then I ran out of time because I was going to Google it because I thought somebody's going to ask me. But I didn't get that far. So if we see our fears as friends, there to come, share messages, give us actually the warnings, if you like, that that's worth thinking about, taking apart, then the fears become very different monsters at the back of the wardrobe. They're suddenly all cute and fluffy and pink because they're actually there for you, to help you.
Interesting.
Because what's the fear based on? It's rarely based 100% on fact. It's based on what you think will happen. There's very few crystal ball readers tootling around, trust me.
I think rejection is one of the biggest fears of everyone's.
Yeah.
Or
failure.
Yeah, failure, measuring up to perfectionism. Ability, all that. Questioning your abilities and see if
it's, for me, I'm talking about me for 2 seconds. I'm at a point where I realised, and it sort of started to come about a few weeks ago, and it's taken me a long time, for me, by the way, to sort it out, was I was fearful of failing. because you do this, you do this, you do this. And actually, I hadn't given any credit to all the steps. Because some of the steps didn't work in the way I thought they would. Does that mean I failed? No. Meant I'm here today with the steps behind me. But when you then think, I need to take new steps, you think, oh, but what about all those steps I did that didn't work?
Jane?
Liz?
Listening to what you're saying there, you know, you said, I'm still here. How do we define failure, though? In whose eyes have you failed?
But that's when we go back down to our own fears and our own monsters at the back of the wardrobe. Because, and I've said this a million times, nobody will beat me up more than I do. Everybody I know, you know, well, all right, there's a few who think I'm a bit weird and all the rest of it. But most people are very complimentary and supportive and say, well done. And they mean it. The only person I know who consistently doesn't say that is me. Because I'm my biggest critic. Back onto inner voice, the fears where we talk to ourselves, being the child with the back of the wardrobe.
Well, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, because I think actually what we're talking about in this group and with this, you know, weekly session is we're all more or less entrepreneurs working for ourselves, by ourselves, with ourselves, and we are our worst critics. The fears in the back of the wardrobe are that the guy who sets out to deliver potatoes around the village despite coronavirus, that's completely different. He's being brave because he's doing something within a community that other people can understand and applaud him for. Everything that we're doing is something that isn't necessarily that. You know, there isn't that outside vision to other people of what it could be for. So the only people who can give you that feeling that you're moving somewhere is yourself, you know, unless you get some clients or some money or something. So if the bravery there is subjective, it's subjective. And it's
also,
yeah,
you know, I'm not, you know, I don't need to, everything's very confidential and private, but we are being videoed. Everybody here has done the yards. That's all I need to say.
Yes, that's right.
Has done the what?
The yards, the miles. You with that, Cindy?
I understand.
Yeah, we've done the distance. When it wasn't on our side, when it was tough, when it was harder, when it, you know, there wasn't any influence that said, yay, go girl. It was just you going. And I did a post a few days ago about when you work online, not only is it like wearing a mask, but it's a blindfold and earmuffs. Because, excuse me, you can't see anybody. There's no response. You're talking into a big black hole. And how do you feel when you're an entrepreneur doing your own thing in your own studio, in your own, you know, consulting room? You know, you're there on your own. That, I think that actually is courageous and brave, because it's 24/7. It's not, you know, for a 2-minute wonder, is it?
No.
And what I was talking about before is be willing and open to failing. Sometimes we don't want to fail because we care so much. Is that disempowered spelled correctly? So I think is that an S missing? Okay. Sorry.
No.
Okay. No, I did check everything, but I'm thinking it doesn't look right.
You wouldn't normally put a hyphen in, I think.
Yeah, it came up with a thingy. What was it? You know they call those technical things. Anything I taught English. Anyway, if you don't care in that, you know, that kind of way about the outcome. Yeah, you're neutral. You know, you're Switzerland. You've got the Geneva Convention.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Something's wrong with my dog, and I need to take care of her. So I'm sorry.
Oh,
Okay. Oh, I hope she's all right, darling.
Something's wrong. So I gotta go. Bye.
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 Bye, bye, darlings. Bye.
Bye.
So, Louise, you're there. Have you been there all the time? No.
It's on mute.
No, it's not. No, I was on time for when I said I would be here.
Oh, you're not on the bottom of my screen. Wow, I could only do 5. I didn't realise. I'm so sorry. Darling, hello.
Hello.
Well, it's a good job we weren't talking about you, isn't it? Oh, well, I hope you've enjoyed it. Anyway, sorry, you should have waved. Yeah, if we take away the emotional stress that we put on, not the action of doing it, but the outcome, then how does it feel? Is it as brave?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Louise, have you muted yourself? Just checking. That's fine. Okay, so if it doesn't mean life and death or, you know, financial ruin, or if we don't put that energy into it, maybe it's easier. Maybe it's not as, because we don't care. So Nicola, for you,
Yeah.
Oh, you're there, right? Okay, you froze.
Yeah, but I'm just writing a thing because I have to go.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's, if you take away the importance, it might be easier to do. Well, it will be,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to stamp on it. I'm going to stamp on it.
Good.
I
And
I'm really sorry I do have to go. I should have told you earlier I couldn't stay for the whole thing.
that's fine, darling. Don't worry, that's fine. We love you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
love you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Enjoy the heat.
And yeah, it's exposing your vulnerability, embracing and challenging the negativity. So whatever you fear or stops you, grab it head on rather than running in the opposite direction, because that is much more powerful tool than actually just trying to hide or ignoring it, or, you know, and I'm sure Louise and Z will be able to say that visualize, meditation are powerful tools to help you to do that. The important thing is, and like Nicola did say before, she was taking the steps and it was making her feel better about doing it. And when we take action, we step forward, we step up, and then we actually exceed. And we sort of, like, you know, do better than we thought we'd ever going to do. Maybe with a bit of a shock. But which is it better to be?
I think, you know, what's not been mentioned, certainly since I've joined this evening, is that when it's the right time, it's easy. There is no
That's a good
braveness.
point. Mm.
You know, when I left Paris to move here, you know, everything tack, just arrived. There was no braveness involved.
No, well, Cindy and I both said, we move countries. I've done it a few times. I never considered it to be brave. I just did it. It was like, as you went, okay, cool, I'm here. The brave bit was afterwards. But you're right. It's when it's the time's right, but there are times when we have to go, should we say, out of time sync. You know, things we need to do. Or for me, it's my head going, oh, let's do that, Jane. I'm going, oh, God, really? You know, it's me putting the challenge there. So, Dee, what can you do when you will be a different kind of brave? Maybe a less anxious brave, or... Because you did mention something last week.
Yes, and it's still there.
Good.
I've been pondering about it, and yes, I think I will be brave and pluck up the courage. That's a good one. Pluck up the courage to take those first steps. But I've realized what is holding me back, and there are a few things that I still need to put in place.
Okay.
Like a couple of courses. I'm busy with Reiki Master course, and I just really want to get stuff out of the way so it's not hanging over my head, so I can really focus on the new project.
Yeah, you need some headspace. You can't do everything all at the same time, particularly when it involves, I think, being creative. You do need everything to flow.
So anyway, but I think that's, you know, I think if you really plan that, if you know that you're going to do this, you can think about it, you can prepare, and hopefully, like Louise said, then it will come easier, because if you are overwhelmed with stuff, you start something new, I don't think you can really honestly focus on it, because your attention will be divided.
Well, when, like all of us, when we want to do something, we normally do, you know, within reason. So, because we make time for it, we put it at the top of the list. Our priorities shuffle. So, when it's on the top of the list, great. And I suppose the point of our, you know, chats is making it able to get on the list, so that it's not that, you know, demon on the other side, because we're so fearful, or we think it's going to be brave and we've got to be so courageous. Not really. It's just something to do. Because if you don't think of it as a big challenge or being brave, you're much more likely to start it and finish it.
Yeah. Anyway, that was more personal, you know, that
Yeah.
is how
It's cool. It's good. It's good.
Since last week, that's what I've been thinking about, and made some decisions, and so I'm quite happy with it, because it's a progress.
All of this there's no start, middle or end, and I think it's a continuation, and all of what we've been doing is sort of building different layers, building stairs, building the odd ladder, hopefully building the odd escalator too, to make it flow, because we've got that support, the congruency, somewhere to go, you know, and to take it out of yourself. Because sometimes we've all got, you know, friends, significant others, but not always can you actually have a conversation that sort of goes like this. So maybe. And finally, to say, it takes courage to grow up and become who you really are.
I think that's a really, really important statement, Jane.
Honestly, I found it about you know, because I'm not sleeping very well at the moment, but it was about, you know, 2:30 this morning, and I thought, that's awesome. That is, and I think, I know I shared very briefly last week about, I felt like I'd been hiding, because to be who you really are, you know, is quite a biggie, depending on who you are. So But yeah, I think we've all got the potential, and we've realised a lot of it, by the way. But I'm sure all of us could sit there and say, I could do that much more. At this point, everybody's going to think it's start recording. But that was cool. It's good. It's good to think. It's good.
I'm writing notes here.
Good. Well, try to make it easier for you to write notes, see.
Thank you. It's nice and big.
Yeah, we like big. So how far away, as a percentage, we don't have to talk personal details, but how far away do you think you are from being the grown-up that you really, really are? I don't mean as in, but you know what I mean. 5%?
No, more like 15.
Okay.
In how much further we've got to go to get to 100?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's a percentage. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm still definitely a child.
Yeah, I kind of like also say that I'm one day I'll wake up and I'll be grown up, but I was actually discussing this with David the other day, because I've had a different upbringing to a Western way of thinking.
Sure.
I was 15 when I moved from Czech Republic to England.
Yeah.
And I kind of had to relearn everything. Not just the language, but culture, the way people think, because it was so different. It is like, the two are like South and North Pole, so far apart. And so I feel like I'm running 15 years late. Like I'm not,
Okay.
I feel like I'm still learning. So according to my age, I'm 15 years
Younger.
less. Yes.
Well, the other month it was my brother's birthday, and he's 15 years older than I am, so that would have made him. I was 53, so he'd be 68. And I've just outed him. Anyway, it's fine. Nobody knows him. George, no. So I phoned him up due to his sisters do to go, happy birthday to you. I said, how are you doing? And he went, I'm halfway. And I get that, because it's that feeling of, I don't know really. I think the world has changed also. When I was born, and for many years, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have all that access to information. And now everything's a lot more, I'm going to say, intelligent, but I don't mean academically. And so the routes to market, the routes to information are so much easier. Remember in the old days of sitting in the reference library, and you charge 10 pence when you wanted to make a photocopy. Went on forever.
That was yesterday.
It sort of was, Liz. Not love. It's a while ago. But don't you think that sort of, I get the bit, Lizzie, about your start was delayed.
Excuse me.
And I sort of, yours was even more delayed, by the way. You're probably only 3 in the real world. But I feel the same, because now there's kiddywinks and they're on their phone and they're like, all right, they don't have all the skills, by the way, that we have. But you think, I don't even feel as if I'm halfway. And, bless me, but I really don't want to think I'm going to be living to 108. But at some point, I've got to catch up. You really feel like, wait, the bus is heading off. And that feeling. And yeah, do I want to grow up? Not in many ways, but in certain ways. I just want to be what my potential of me is.
I think that's a better way of doing it, because I had this awesome granny who told me when she turned 80 that when she was 20, 30 seemed old. When she turned 30, 40 seemed really, really old. When she turned 50, 40, and go on. And she turned 80, she said, you know, I'm still me. It's still me. And I think 90 is really old now. You know, she didn't think of herself as old at
No. My grandmother died at 93. And I have to say, at 87, which she still lived independently. You know, actually 89. She still lived independently. She was a nightmare. And she had a walking stick. And rather than use pedestrian crossings, because they were sort of quite newfangled gadgets, weren't they? Considering she was born in 1897. And she'd walk across the road, but with a walking stick. And that was it. And then when she went to a nursing home, the walking stick became a weapon. And she used to hit the nurses. God. But that was her way. It was sort of like saying, well, I don't care. And she just said, Jane, if I can't get to 90 and occasionally, you know, use my walking stick, what's life all been about? Well, she's quite a good point. I mean, she didn't do any harm, by the way. But, you know, you just think, well, when do you have to sort of become all serious? I mean, she was serious. She was the only one in the family with that sense of humour. But she was true to herself, to be fair. And I think that's something that we all are, but we can all do better at. Is that?
I agree with you 100 million %.
Oh, I haven't paid her to say that.
She did. €100.
God, I wish.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, maybe grow up. Yeah, I mean, we all grown up, but we don't feel it. But we growing by learning, and yeah, just trying to.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah, best version, which is great. I've come across quite a few people here that they just feel their life is over and they just want to give up and.
But the people, and there's, I say for all the people who watch the replays, and they do, we're in quite an international group. Most of us have travelled. Most of us have moved country, or certainly, across countries, or across continents. So we're not the norm. And I think if you've probably, no disrespect to Jipping Sodbury, wherever that is, but if you've been there for 48 years and, maybe it does feel like that. But it's up to them to learn, isn't it? And to move out of their comfort zone. You don't have to move country to do that. You can walk down the street wearing yellow shorts, if you've only been used to wearing blue. I don't know. But there's silly ways, isn't it, where you can feel the freedom. You don't have to be as mad as we all are and have moved country. So what's one thing you can do tomorrow morning to be a little bit braver? Whatever that now means, by the way, because maybe it's changed what it means.
Do that thing you've been putting off doing because you haven't quite got the courage.
Yeah.
Like mine would be doing my recording and actually sending it off with the application form, which is filled in. But I haven't quite got the courage to do the recording. So yeah, do.
Okay. Would you like an accountability time to check in for that?
What, from you?
He could do it for you. I don't mind, whichever.
By the weekend.
By the weekend. Awesome. Which part of the weekend?
Oh, Sunday lunchtime.
What time's lunch?
12:01 and 32 seconds.
Awesome. I'm going to put that in my diary. Seriously.
Close enough for you.
Very close. Very close. See, what's one thing you could do to be a little bit more braver?
Right. So now that I've had my little staycation.
Cool.
At home. And I was actually going to elongate it to the weekend and beyond if I felt like it. But actually, I need to move on now. I've had enough.
Good.
I've done my little bit. I've really enjoyed it. So I will start writing in the mornings.
That's nice. I believe it's the best time. I was reading the other day. It's the best time to write. That's what.
So I will start writing in the mornings.
And when would you like to update me on Sunday on how many words you've written?
No, because I just need to make a start, Jane.
No, but can you say I've made a start?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Louise.
Yeah, my process and my editing process is just it takes a long time.
That's fine, but you've got to start, love.
Yes.
That's all.
Yeah.
Louise, you can't put yourself on mute.
I haven't.
I know, I'm just checking. I'm thinking, what would you like to do? Be a little bit.
Tomorrow afternoon, I have got an interview.
Ooh.
Recorded interview with Dusty Rhodes. And so I think I need to do some studying.
That'd be a good idea, just to so you feel a bit more comfy.
Well, no, you know, people ask me questions. I'm happy to talk. But
You know that.
Is this for his podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Fabulous. That sounds amazing.
Brilliant.
Well done, Louise. Very, very good. That's great.
What time do we need to listen in?
It's I'm recording it tomorrow, and I don't know. It'll go out this week, next week. He publishes it, I think, on a Monday and a Thursday or something. So.
Okay, cool. Oh, well done. That's pretty cool.
Please send me the link.
Me too.
Yeah.
Great. Well, ladies, we're actually within time, which is a slight miracle. Must be obviously something wrong with me. I would like to say a very, very warm thank you for being here. And we will be here next week. So, new subject, different. We like to keep it a bit spiky. Have a wonderful, amazing week. Take very good care. Stay safe. Be kind to yourself. And thank you very, very much for joining. Terry.
Hi. Don't tell me I'm the only one.
No. You're not the only one, love. But we started an hour ago. You're late.
Oh. Do you know what? I saw the 8 p.m. plus 1 and I thought, oh, it's 9 o'clock tonight.
No, that's why it says GMT plus 1.
Don't worry. So you're about finished now then?
You'll get the replay in the morning, Duck. Right, lovely. Oh, do you know what? I kept thinking, wonder where Terry is. So
It's lovely to see you, Terry.
Yes,
it's so nice. It's lovely. Oh, well, look. Well done. Thank you very, very much. I'm going to say a fond farewell and thank you.